The Inali were revered as the oldest known spacefaring species in the galaxy, yet they were not the first. When the first Inali astronaut set foot on the furthest planet in their star system, a frozen celestial body named Uran, the truth of the galaxy's history began to unravel. Uran was no mere planet, it was an immense artificial construct the Inali would later call the terminal. Beneath its thick layer of ice, something extraordinary lay hidden. Though initially unable to penetrate the icy surface, Inali scientists quickly devised a way to melt through it, unveiling an interior that would forever alter their species. The terminal was a colossal transportation hub, its crust housing an advanced wormhole generator capable of linking solar systems across the galaxy. Even more astonishing was the archive contained within, which held the coordinates of over 200,000 other systems, each hosting its own terminal. This single discovery catapulted the Inali forward by tens of thousands of years in technological development. The Inali, however, were not a benevolent species. Their emperor, Vleen II, known to history as Vleen the Great, saw the newly accessible galaxy not as a frontier of exploration but as an opportunity for conquest. Newly christened conquest ships departed from Inali Prime, exploiting uninhabited worlds for resources and enslaving those with sentient life. The Inali's rise was swift, fueled by their rock-like skin, sharp claws, and an unmatched monopoly on the terminal's technology. They dominated the galaxy with an iron fist. At first, the galaxy's other species resisted, then fled, and finally succumbed. Those who submitted were enslaved, those who resisted were eradicated. The Tynics, a particularly rebellious species, managed a large-scale uprising, only to have their homeworld's atmosphere incinerated by the Inali. This horrific act was broadcast galaxy-wide, cementing the Inali's reputation and quelling further resistance. For over 2,000 years, they ruled unopposed, their empire spanning the known galaxy. But even the mightiest empires overreach. After exhausting all other targets, the Inali's gaze turned toward the creators of the terminals, a mysterious species identified in the archives as humanity. What little data existed about humanity pointed to a single solar system, Sol, located at the galaxy's far edge. Believing it uninhabited and resource-poor, the Inali had previously ignored it. Now, they prepared to claim it. When an Inali fleet first attempted to enter Sol, it was annihilated by an incomprehensibly powerful beam weapon that disintegrated the entire armada. To any rational species, this would have been a clear warning. The Inali, however, were anything but rational when it came to their lust for conquest. A decade later, the Inali assembled the largest fleet in their history, over 20,000 ships strong, and prepared to invade Sol. Gathering in a nearby system, they activated the terminal to begin their assault. But as the fleet entered the wormhole, the terminal malfunctioned, or so it seemed. The wormhole collapsed, and the terminal began emitting a signal. At first, it merely disrupted the human-derived technologies the Inali had incorporated into their ships and implants. Then, a second signal was broadcast, one far more devastating. This signal took control of the Inali fleet. Their ships, systems, and even the Inali themselves became puppets of a superior force. In a cruel twist of fate, the conquerors became slaves. The fleet, now under humanity's control, turned back toward the Inali Empire. What followed was not a war but a systematic extermination. World after world fell as the enslaved fleet executed its grim task. The human technology once crudely repurposed by the Inali was now wielded with precision and unparalleled effectiveness. The terminals ceased responding to Inali commands, rendering any organized defense impossible. Yet, in all this destruction, humanity's vengeance was directed solely at the Inali. Non-Inali species, even those sharing planets with the oppressors, were left unharmed. They watched in awe and terror as their former masters were obliterated. For 50 years, the slaughter continued until the Inali were no more. Their empire, once the greatest in galactic history, was reduced to ash and memory. The captured fleet, having completed its grim purpose, disappeared through a terminal leading to Sol. In its wake, it left a single message, etched into the remnants of the Inali's worlds. Those who play with the devil's toys will be brought by degrees to wield his sword. Humanity has not been seen or heard from since. Their vengeance was absolute, their silence eternal. The galaxy freed from Inali rule but haunted by humanity's shadow remains forever changed. Historian Mulax Chusen, excerpt from The Rise and Fall of the Inali Empire.